Welcome to AG's Ace. This time we take on SRH, Sunrisers Hyderabad, and they are in all sorts of trouble. The men in the orange suits have quite a few problems on their hands. They are pretty low on the points table, and they need to do quite a few things to pull themselves back into the chase. And there's not enough time left. Let's take a look at some of the issues that could be bothering them. So the David Warner-led outfit is, as I said, having a pretty forgettable season in the 14th edition of IPL. So far, SRH have won just one out of their 6 games and are sitting at the bottom of the IPL table with just 2 points. So I want to repeat that. Just one out of their 6 games they have won, and they are sitting at the bottom of the table with just 2 points, which is a pretty bad scenario. Recently, they lost by 7 wickets against Chennai Super Kings in Delhi. Strangely enough, they have been one of the most consistent teams in the IPL if you look at their broader stats. The Orange Army was a late entrant into the league. However, they already have one championship to their name in their brief existence so far. And the Sunrisers captured the IPL title under David Warner's leadership during the 2016 season, so 5 years ago. After that tournament, SRH has always made it to the top 4, but the championship has stayed away from them. And this year, it looks particularly difficult. So if we take a look at last year, they made a slow start in the United Arab Emirates. They came back and defeated the top 3 teams of the competition to storm into the playoffs. Hyderabad knocked out Royal Challengers Bangalore out of IPL 2020 before DC, Delhi Capitals, ended their campaign. Sunrisers Hyderabad will next take on Sanju Samson's Rajasthan Royals in a match in Delhi, which will be played this Sunday. So far, they are sitting on the 8th position, which is the last position in the IPL, and doesn't augur well for them. Let's take a look at their bowling attack first. Rashid Khan. Let's begin with Rashid Khan, the shining star from Afghanistan, 22 years old. And he's been in brilliant form for them for quite a few years now. The best thing about Rashid is even when he doesn't take a wicket, the variations that he brings into play, the style of his bowling, the way he tries to mentally sort out batsmen is pretty much phenomenal. So he keeps the batsman quiet in his 4 overs in the T20 format, and that is a big boon for any captain in the IPL. From 6 games this year, Rashid has taken 9 wickets at an economy rate of 6.16, which is terrific. But the overall bowling attack of SRH is looking pretty depleted. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar missed the previous game against Delhi and CSK with a niggle. Now, this is something that Bhuvi needs to sort out with his own body, because constantly something or the other goes wrong, and he has had a long history of physical breakdown, so which has seriously impacted his career. A brilliant swing bowler, a man with variations who thinks through a lot of steps, and is a huge asset to not only to Team India, but to any of the franchises here. But like I said, these niggles are really a pain for him and for his fans. Making things worse for SRH is left arm pacer Natarajan or Nattu. He's already out of the competition with a knee surgery, and that is another massive blow for SRH. When it comes to batting, SRH relies heavily on their foreign recruits, and that is led by David Warner himself, Johnny Bairstow, a brilliant opening batsman in this format, Kiwi great Kane Williamson, and Rashid, who comes down the order and is pretty handy with the bat. But overall, this is a cause for concern. Their biggest weakness, like I said, is the fragile batting order that they have, and pretty much over-reliance on the top order. So if the top 2 or 3 do not fire, even if 2 don't fire, they are in big trouble. Johnny Bairstow has turned out to be the highest run scorer so far in the tournament with 218 runs from 6 games, 218 from 6 games. Kane Williamson has now come into his own periodically, and strangely enough, his credibility in the shortest format is questioned now and then. But as it happens with great batsmen, whenever there are certain doubts against their name, they always find a way to fire. So his unbeaten 66 of just 51 balls on a slow turn in Chennai proved to be almost a match winnings knock, as SRH tied the game and took it to a super over, but couldn't win the game. Next is Manish Pandey. I'm a big fan of Manish. He scored 2 gutsy half centuries at the start of the tournament, but failed to convert both the knocks into victories for his team. His strike rate hovered around the 110 mark, and he possibly failed to force the pace at that time. He was subsequently dropped and replaced by youngster Virat Singh in the middle order. However, Virat with Vijay Shankar, Kedar Jadhav and Abhishek Sharma haven't really been able to provide the required stability to the lineup either. In fact, in SRH's last match against the Delhi Capitals, none of these players crossed double digits. There is criticism for David Warner also, as he failed to get going, as he crawled to 57 of 55 deliveries. This was against the Chennai Super Kings. Later he said, and to quote him, "I take full responsibility. The way that I batted was obviously very slow." Warner said, "I was hitting a lot of fielders and very, very frustrated. I take full responsibility from a batting point of view," and he hopes to rectify that. Taking responsibility is fine, but it is quite inexplicable the way he batted that day. Viru Sehwag came in hard as usual and said that David Warner's thought process was extremely poor. You cannot expect a slow inning from him. The approach wasn't up to the mark. He should have batted without any hesitation. He compared that to Manish Pandey's knock of 50 of 36 balls and wondered why Warner couldn't power on. Of course, Sunrisers Hyderabad head coach Trevor Bayliss feels it is important that his team doesn't lose confidence or patience following its fifth loss, and he remains hopeful, like all head coaches do. I have a couple of points to make in my take. I feel that SRH need to treat Manish Pandey better. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Manish Pandey. From the next big thing, he has been ignored by even the Team India management. He's a classy batter and an excellent fielder. Captaincy issues are there, but I don't see Warner being replaced by Kane Williamson midway, like KKR did with Dinesh Karthik being replaced by Morgan last season. Warner's batting needs to change gears, which he knows better than anyone else. The bowling attack is depleted with Natarajan out and Bhuvi riddled with niggles, which have cost him a lot in his career. And how much can Rashid Khan do alone? SRH is facing down the barrel, and they know it pretty much, no matter what the head coach thinks. So thanks for watching AG's Ace.